Hello YouTube. Oh wait, that was just I don't have an intro chat. Hello YouTube. Hello. How's your day going? So my MacBook screen is closed and I'm just using an external display, and I didn't notice I needed a mic. So my iPhone 10R is working as my microphone right now. And yeah, today I want to talk about a program that I fell in love with recently. Actually, I've been using this app for just 2 days now. For just 2 days, and I can tell it's my favorite app. The name is AeroSpace. So let me give you a brief feedback of AeroSpace. So before switching to AeroSpace, I was using an app called. Actually, let me start from the beginning. When I first of all installed Mac, when I first of all got my MacBook. Ah man, the first time I got my MacBook, yeah, the first time I started using macOS, I installed an app called Rectangle, which I used to tile my windows and to arrange my screen. Yeah, and to arrange like the apps on my screen. The problem with Rectangle is there's always this keybind like, oh, what keybind did I use to tile it to the left? What keybind did I use to tile it to the middle? What keybind? Like, it was a lot of keybind, which wasn't so bad, but it's annoying to remember sometimes, coming from a Vim user or a noob Vim user. Then I switched last month to an app called Loom. I'm not sure. What's the name of the app? Let me check. Loop. Yes, an app called Loop. Loop. My bad. Yeah, with Loop, like all I just have to do is press the will I call it like the leader key? Because for me, I binded Control and Alt or Control and Option to as the action key or the leader key, and all you just have to do is press the direction you want to snap your window to. I wish I could demonstrate it, but I can't because I have uninstalled or stopped using Loop. But like, you just press the arrow key and it snaps that window for you to. It snaps the window in the direction you want. Damn. It was all fine and good, but there's one problem. Every time you open a new app on Mac, like, it just launches in the middle of your screen, then you have to tile it yourself manually and all like that, which isn't bad. Like, I was fine with that. Then I was just scrolling Reddit one day and I saw someone talk about aerospace, and I was like, what is that? And that was just when I checked what aerospace was. And aerospace is like, it's like an i3 tiling window, or you know how when you watch that's if you watch people that use Linux, or if you use Linux yourself, most of them, especially the ones on Arch Linux, they use Hyperland and like i3 to tile their windows. So you just open a new app. So let me open a new window here. So Command N, and it automatically tiles all the apps on my screen, automatic tiles them perfectly, and I can arrange them anyhow I want. One sec, let me drop the mic on my hand to the table. Okay, so I could automatically tile them how I want and stuff like that. Like now it's switching. One sec here, and okay, yeah, I can automatically arrange them how I want, create new windows as well, and I can also like switch the direction as well. um 1 second here, and like the switches and stuff like that. So like it just makes the workflow easy and interesting. I was hesitant to install aerospace at first because I saw it was still on beta version. But I was like, yeah, fuck it. Let's just try this thing. Let's just try this aerospace stuff. And I haven't showed the full feature yet. So let me show you some of the other cool stuff it does. And then I'll walk you through the documentation after. So another cool feature aerospace has as well is having multiple spaces. So right now I set up, let me just show you right here. So I set up these multiple spaces here. So I have like, just like how you have multiple desktops or desktop space on when you're using your Mac, and you like open apps in full screen, or you have multiple desktop space and you swipe through them while working. But on with AeroSpace, everything is still just in a single space. Like if I open mission control right now, everything looks like this, but I've separated them into spaces. So right now we're on my terminal space, which is I binded T for terminal. So let's say so 1, 2, 3, I just use them for space as a free space. Like, oh, I'm opening a new app, then I could just open it there. So and I binded B for browser. So let's say I want to work on I'm going to my browser tab. I just um press the Alt key and I press B and I'm in browser pane. So right now we were on terminal space, so I press the Alt key and I press T. I'm back to terminal space. I also have an N for my note space as well. So I press Alt key, I press N, and I'm in my note space as well. So let's come back to my terminal space. And you can also cycle through them through this way. OBS, Finder, calendar once again, and back to where we are. Okay, so that's all I'm going to mention for now. Oh, there's one more navigation that I didn't talk about, but it's because I don't use it a lot. That's why I didn't talk about this one. Let me see if I can get it right. Okay. Oh, yeah. So this was I was trying to show. So this is the regular mode, like horizontal and vertical layout modes, which is basically Alt and slash. Then we also have accordion mode, which is Alt and comma. Then you can like switch between your apps like this. 1 second. Yeah, you can switch between your apps like this, and you can like adjust how you want the accordion mode to be. So if I press Alt comma again, now it's at the top, and I just have to go through like this. I have both apps in full screen mode. And then if I press Alt slash once again, then I'm back to vertical, and I press it one more time to align it this way. Yep, so I struggle to find that one. Okay, now let's go to floating mode. Yeah, I haven't talked about floating mode. So let's say I don't want to tile, like, okay, I have this app like this, but I want the terminal to just be full screen for now. I could just go into floating mode, which makes terminal this big, like the regular way we use our Windows app, and I could just like move it around. You could increase the size, and if I take it off floating mode again, then everything tiles back to normal. Yeah, that's this one. So let's and floating mode happens for just normal app. Like if I open settings right now, like it automatically opens in floating mode. It doesn't need tiling, so that's like a smart thing on it. And I've talked about the accordion and the vertical mode. So we will go to the configuration guide right now. And yeah, so first of all, we'll go to this website, which I am going to paste in the description. We'll go to this website, and the first thing is how to install. You basically just copy this and run it in your terminal, then it installs it. Copy this, run it in your terminal, and it installs it. I already have it installed, so I'm not clicking it again. And you can also like install a specific version as well. You could like target it if you want. Like if you have a specific version in mind, you could target it here. But just install the basic one and you're good to go. Then this is like manual stuff, blah blah blah. So how do we configure our AeroSpace? Like how do we configure it? So AeroSpace will try to find the configuration file in either in your root directory, if your root directory contains aerospace.toml, yeah, or wherever this is. So yes, or it checks your config directory and looks for aerospace/aerospace toml. So that's currently where I am. So let's say I do this. You see I am in my root directory, then I go to config, then I created I created a directory called AeroSpace, and inside AeroSpace I have aerospace.toml, which is where we put the config. So vf this, then we have this. 1 second. Groove box. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So the best way to start is just copy this default config here. So this is the default configuration. All you just have to do is copy all of this, or you could just download it. But just copy everything and slap that bad boy on here. Then just start using it. Before you start using it, like, okay, you've pasted the config, right? First thing you need to do is start the app as well. So you press enter, you start the app, it starts working. Then you play with it a little bit. Then you start like changing things you need. But I'll walk you through most of the things in the configuration. So the first thing we want to change is start at login to true. So basically, whenever you restart your MacBook or you log out and log in again, AeroSpace starts immediately. So we change this to true, which I have here changed to true. You can also like have commands for this, but this one you figure it out on your own. This is just a beginning tutorial on how to use it. Then this whatever this is, I just left it as true. I can't remember what it is, but I'll link a tutorial that helped me as well in the description. Then I'll go to something else. So accordion padding is 30. You can change it. So accordion mode is the one I talked about, which is this. So like the gap between this is 30 at the moment. So you could change it to whatever gap you want. So let me come back here. So that's the padding for this. Then what else? Okay, I left all of this as normal. One moment. Okay, so this key mapping, so this preset equals QWERTY. This is where you choose the keyboard layout you're using. If you're using QWERTY or if you're using Dvorak, you just put it in so it knows like your keyboard layout. Then this gap, which is here, I changed mine to 5. Yeah, I changed mine to 5 here. One sec. I changed mine to 5. So basically it's just the gap in between this up here or whatever. You could just configure it however you like. And now to bind keys, there are 2 modes. There may be more modes, but I know about the main mode and I know about the status mode. The main mode is the regular mode, what you do regularly. Then the status mode is like when you enter command mode in Vim, or command mode in Tmux, something like that. So the status mode, but I'll get to the status mode later. Let's focus on the main mode here. So the first thing it tells you about is alt slash. So if you press alt and the slash, that's the /, it tiles your window vertically or horizontally. So demonstration alt slash. Okay, and if you press alt comma, then it uses the accordion style, which I talked about earlier. Alt comma, so back to alt slash. Then to switch pin, okay, let's say my mouse is currently on my terminal right now, and I just need to press alt H, and now the focus is on my browser. If I press alt L, the focus is back on my terminal, basically. Go up, go down, basically Vim movement, but you could change this to whatever you want. So they gave the possible bindings you could use. For letters we have A to Z, for numbers we have 0 to 9, and we also have keypad numbers as well. Like if your keyboard has a keypad numbers. For special keys you have all of these you could use. For arrows you have left, up, right, down. I feel like this is the best documentation I've seen in a very long time. And then for modifiers you can use command, you can use alt, you can use control and shift, so whatever you want. Then to switch between, okay, so I have my browser on the left right now. Let's say I want to move my browser to the right of my screen. I just need to do alt shift L. My browser's on the right, and alt shift H to bring it back. But you notice in my binding I changed mine to alt control H because, hold on, I changed mine to controls because I don't think I want to press Alt and Shift. I'm used to pressing Alt and Control to do things, so I just press Alt. I used Alt and Control for mine, but the default is Alt Shift. And like I said, play around with it, and then you get used to it. And you can increase the size of the display as well. So if I press Alt plus, I'm increasing my browser. It's minus, I'm reducing it, and you could just reset it. But I'll show you the binding for reset. Then the workspace. So the thing about this workspace is whatever you put here will be the amount of workspace that you have. So right now I just left it at where's my workspace? Yep, this is my workspace. So I just left it at this number 1234 and BCMNT, which is basically why it doesn't show up everything. It doesn't show a lot here. But if you like, right, put down A to Z down here. Okay, let me give you an example. So replace Z workspace Z W, and let's say I reset it, right? Z is going to show up as well as a new pin. Yeah, but let me delete Z. Let me delete the workspace Z, and reload my configuration. Z doesn't show up. You could reload your configuration directly here, or you could. I'll show you where the configuration reloading is as well. Well, yeah, reload configuration. Basically, you get the point. And this is the command to switch from one pane to another. I know how I mentioned in the beginning, like, oh, I want to switch to my browser pane. I just press, in my own case, I press Alt Control B, and I'm in browser pane. 1 second. Oh, my bad. I moved this to browser pane. Let me move this back to terminal pane right now. B. Okay. So this is my browser pane. I made a mistake earlier. So Alt Control B moves it, while Alt B switches it here. So I want to move my terminal right now back to my terminal pane. So Alt Control T, and it moves it to my terminal pane. This is my browser pane. This is my notes pane. This is my terminal pane. So I'm back here. So to switch between panes, all you just have to do Alt 1, Alt 2, Alt B, Alt whatever you binded it to, and you're there. Then yeah, I use Control. The default is Shift. Whatever, you get the point. And you can switch back and forth with Alt and Tab to switch back and forth the latest one. I haven't tried this one before. Move workspace to monitor. I don't understand what this is. Should I try it? Let me try it. Alt Shift Tab. No, Alt Control Tab. I don't know what it is. It's not working for me. So back to service mode, which I mentioned earlier. Service mode. Yep. Back to service mode. So in service mode is basic. To enter service mode, you press Alt Shift and semicolon to get into service mode. And I'm going to press Alt Shift and semicolon and just notice what will show in front of this T right now. Alt Shift semicolon. You see this bracket S right here, means you're in service mode. Then if you press any of these bindings here, if you press Escape, it reloads your config. If you press R, it resets your layout. If you press F, it toggles floating mode, which I showed earlier. If you press Backspace, it closes all windows but your current window in basically in this in your current workspace. So I'm just going to press Escape, which reloads the configuration. And then we also have more settings here, which is like Alt Shift H to join with left, Alt Shift whatever. So this one, I'll explain this one right now. So let's say I have a new window here. You can see this window is on the right side of this, but I want this terminal to stack on top of each other. If I press the regular Alt Shift H right now, it's just like switching and moving the focused window to the next direction. But what if I want the terminal to stack on top of one another? I am just going to enter service mode first, which is um Alt Shift semicolon, and then I press Alt Shift, so the direction I want it to go to. So since I'm on the right and I want it to bind with what is on the left of it, so I press H and it merges them together, and now just stacked on top of one another. So exit this for now, and that is that. Then yeah, then you can modify your settings. So this is how to bind. So how to bind is, you have this bracket mode.main.binding, and I think we have it here already, mode.main.binding. Let me go back to cat pushing. Oh, mode.main.binding, right? And let's come back to okay. So let's come back to this. So because of resetting and floating mode, I don't want to always enter service mode to reset and to enter to enter floating mode. So I put them at the top as well, just to bind them to the top. So I don't need to be in floating mode for these two to work. Yeah, and then you can also run commands. So the two commands is oh yeah. Basically, you can run multiple commands to one binding, which is you put them in an array and you just merge the commands there. So move to workspace 1 and focus on workspace 1, something like that. And you can also run commands in the terminal as well, in the CLI, the command line. Then there's all of this, and those are the important parts, to be honest. But there's one more part I wasn't talking about, but I can't find it here. Oh yeah, one more thing you need to do is you need to go to your settings on Mac, on iOS, which is, wait 1 second, yeah. Oh yeah, I'll stop the tutorial for you. Like that, those are the basic configuration you need to like, get started with it. Every other thing like you find out from this point forward. But there's one more important thing to change. So you know how when I go into mission control, everything shows up normal like this. The thing is, by default, it doesn't show like that, but you need to like do a setting on Mac, which is let me find it here. Mission control. Oh yeah, init on mission control. So you need to run these settings, because by default it's going to, everything's going to look tiny when you go on mission control, but once you toggle these settings in which is to group windows by application, everything looks normal at the end. Yeah, thanks for watching, and I'm going to link the tutorial, a tutorial that helped me down as well. But I hope I was able to like explain how this shit works.